Hello. So, today I had to tell myself I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain about my coworkers. I'm not going to complain about my job. I'm not going to complain about my neighbors. I'm not going to complain about anything that I feel like I'm lacking because I had to remind myself I'm not lacking anything. I'm abundant. I have a roof over my head, food in my belly. I can buy what my daughter needs. I have loving children. I have a car to get me where I need to go. So I've had to remind myself, think of the positive. And I know that's really hard. We all get stuck in these mindsets, especially when we're dealing with people that make us feel drained and miserable, and it's not always just someone you live with. It's kind of the world we're in, right? I've had to pull back from my neighbors to try to get clarity on life because I have not been so negative since I was in a very toxic relationship and couldn't figure out how to get out. And I thought, man, this is not working for me. Every day, someone's waiting to talk to me outside. Every day, I have no personal space. Every day, they want to complain about everything they see. And just to remind you, that is contagious. That is when you're around low vibing people, the more you sit around them, they pull you down. And if you pay attention, you can be someone who is like, oh, I love life. I did this and I did that. And you could be having adventures and doing all kinds of things, living and breathing and loving life, right? But as soon as you get around somebody that's toxic and low vibing, the more you make them feel good, the more they show up for you. Not for you, but to leech off of you. That's the hard part. Because even I've pulled back so much, my neighbor had to say, did I do something? Now, come on, you're an adult. You and I are two very different people. I just had to say, no, I just need some time for myself. I get like this whenever I feel overwhelmed. My son's getting ready to come home for a little bit. I'm trying to get everything in order. My life is life, right? But what I really wanted to say, I kept in my mouth. Because if anything, I'm going to turn around and tell you, you don't know how you are. You don't know how low vibing and toxic and bitter you are. You don't know how you treat people. You're an adult. And that's where we all need to take accountability for the way we treat others. Because a lot of times we have people come into our lives that are almost there to test us. Some people are too much and say too much and are negative, and other people just sit back and like observe. Don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Don't correct the situation. I've always been that person that would endure things as long as I could. But I'm tired of my endurance being tested at this point to where I've had to pull back and reflect. I've had to sit here and go, okay, what is it I'm needing to understand for myself? Because this is a cycle. We all can look at a car wash and your car is going through this cycle. You know it's going to come to an end and you're going to drive away, right? But when we're going through those cycles on a personal level, many people don't even realize that's what's going on. It's a chance to get clean. It's a chance to purge energy out of your system, to brighten your aura. You know, it's like I saw a dung beetle the other day, and I was like, well, I haven't seen one of those in a long time. And it was only dirty on the back end. And it just made me consider how they get filthy to hide. And it's the same as humans in a way, because we live in such a toxic environment. It's easier to fit in than fit out. And I always like embraced the fact that I was different. I was okay with that. I was okay being attacked. I would, whatever, say what you want to say. And it's the more that I was being pushed and pushed, and I'm talking on a physical scale, that drained me and made me feel exhausted. It was just kind of like I couldn't handle the push anymore. I even took an extra day to spend with my family because I was like, I'm about to explode. And it's at a point where exploding, it's not acceptable as an adult. Because if this is to me, my opinion, I'm not saying this to anybody else. You handle life how you need to handle life. But when it comes to me, I'm an adult. I should be able to conversate my emotions to you. I should be able to say, okay, well, this is what's going on, and this is how it's affecting me on a personal level, and this is what has to change. That's how we create boundaries. That's how we stand up for ourselves and protect ourselves. Because as children, we have protectors. Maybe they're big brothers, big sisters, parents, sometimes the teachers or whoever it is in that child's life that is there as the guardian. But as an adult, we don't necessarily have those. We have to become that. And it, in a sense, is we had people we could rely on as children. We had people that we entrusted. And over time, either they were there or they weren't, right? But that's neither here nor there. It's just the fact that we had something. And then as we grew older, we didn't have that something. We didn't notice that it was shifted out of our lives. We didn't realize we were supposed to stand up for ourselves. And just as a child, you never realized you were the one that was supposed to stand up for you the whole entire time. Because the only person that's got you in this world is you. I've stated several times, when it all comes to an end, you're the only person that has to deal with your life. You're the only one that's going to have the reflections of what was. Don't go to the very end and live with regret, because it's as simple as opening our mouths and creating boundaries. It's not comfortable at first, but at the same time, if people are telling you, no, that's selfish, or they're kind of putting you down for your boundaries, that's because they are, I don't want to say profiting off of you, but they're gaining off of you. They're gaining your time, they're gaining your energy, they're gaining something from you they cannot create for themselves. And that's where we have to learn to become more guarded in a sense. Guarded. And I don't mean put up fences and walls and say, nope, nobody. Because that's where I was getting to, honestly. And like I said, it took me a long time to learn how to create boundaries and then apply them to my life. And the more that I did that, the more people tried to like, nah, that's in my way, and walk all over them. And then I had to pull back and be like, hold on, you're in my world. You're visiting my life. This is my home. This is my energy. I am the essence in which you seek. You drain me when you come around. I don't need to entertain you. And yes, get to where you pull back more and more and more, and before you know it, you're like, where'd all my friends go? What happened to my family? I don't know. Have I always been this alone? I never realized I was this alone. But over time, it becomes quiet. You find solace. You get a chance to think, and you have time to heal. You have time to heal from all those people that tap danced all over everything you believed in. You have time to build yourself into who you want to be, not who they want you to be. Because why be accepted into a toxic world? Why? Would you eat spoiled fruit hoping it will give you nourishment? Would you eat rotten meat and cover it up with spices knowing it's going to make you sick? Because in the sense, that's what we're doing when we entertain empty souls. Individuals that have no intention of bringing anything to the table. They just come to your table and they're like, oh, I like your spread. Of course you do. Did you even bring the napkins? No. Did you bring the ice? Did you bring anything? No, you just came to take? okay, well, I'm going to have to ask you to leave because I didn't invite you. And that's at the point, people will always give you unsolicited advice. People will always step in. This is how the world works. This is the world I've known it to be. And when it boils down to it, you have to ask yourself, am I done entertaining this, and am I ready to stand up tall and grow and move away from this Mad Hatter party? Because you never get a chance to even breathe. And like I said, I told myself today, I laid in bed and I'm sitting there going, here we go. Let's go. Get up. And when you're starting to live life like that, that's when it's a bit too much. That's where we don't feel excited anymore. And no one really gets excited about going to work. I get that. It's a part of society. It's something that often drains us because there's so many expectations, because we work for what I call fat cats. They want what they want, but there's no way they could entertain what they're trying to offer on the level that they're demanding of the people that put out what it is they want to sell. You could always try to test people, make them switch roles. And obviously, most of the lower people that don't have much of an understanding of the higher aspect could go in and do their job. People at the top have a hard time doing what it is they demand. But once again, doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that we have to learn to get back to where we were, like that kid that was like, oh, I'm going to the splash park today. And that comes with the concept of today I'm not complaining. Today I'm going to look on the bright side. Today I'm going to see my own value. And I'm going to know my value based off of what they want from me. It doesn't mean I'm going to entertain everything they suggest they need me to do. But I'll try. I'll see what I can do for you, right? Because we have the choice to drain ourselves for somebody else's personal gain. Or we have the choice to go, I know I'm not expendable, and you're not going to keep using me to the point of draining me before I walk out of this place. It's not even a matter of pride. It's a matter of self-respect. It's a matter of knowing our own worth and knowing what other people see in us that we can't see in ourselves. And that's the hardest part, because I'll refer to them as a villain, can see what you have to offer before you ever even realized it for yourself. And the more that you're being attacked by lower energetic entities, and you're just like, oh my God, I can't take anymore. Hey, why? Understand that's because there's something inside of you that they want. And a lot of times it's your energy, it's your positivity, it's your light, it's your table. It's what you present to the world. And most people sit back and they don't dig deep enough to realize they have something in themselves as well. But that comes with healing. That comes with unpacking the burdens of the past. That comes with learning the lessons of life. That comes with finding self-respect and self-love and being self-sufficient. That comes with no longer being codependent on other individuals or needing outside validation. That comes with seeing your own worth. And nobody else can help you see that. Other people can tell you all day long, man, you've got this inside of you. I see it. And you're like, where? I'm just a human. I'm just like you. And they can tell you all day long, no, you're different than me. But you have to believe it. You have to see it. You have to push your boundaries. You have to heal from what it is that has held you back. And this, of course, is me talking to myself going, girl, you better get on with the getting on because the train's waiting to take you from the past. All your blessings are waiting there. Everything is waiting there. But you keep standing here and going, but I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know how. That's the funky train that couldn't. When it boils down to it, gotta realize it was what it was and it's going to be what it's going to be. But I have to get unstuck from the muck. Meaning today I'm not going to complain. Today I'm going to find the beauty in the world. I sat outside yesterday. I saw dragonflies. I saw butterflies. I saw all kinds of things I haven't seen in a long time. Because when we're dull in our head, when we're angry about the world, when we can't stand our surroundings, the beauty goes away. I saw a hummingbird the other day and I was like, oh, I need to get you a feeder. They're not always here. They migrate here. So we have to start understanding sometimes maybe we need to migrate away from the trauma, away from the chaos, away from the bitterness, and away from the hurt. Stop wondering why. Don't even worry about how. Just know that it's possible. Because when you have faith, when you have hope, anything is possible. It's just a matter of retraining your mindset. And that's what I had to get up and tell myself today. Today is a new day. I could go off in song, but I won't. On that note, hopefully that's helpful because I needed the pep talk for myself instead of like beating me up again for another day. So sending everybody lots of love, hugs, peace and light.